Hi, I'm Mike Perry. Do these shoes make my nose look small? Wait. How about this? Is this better? It is for me. I'm a clown. I clown. I think I was drawn to it because it's a noun and a verb. That works for me. From the time I was 19 straight through my 50s, I wore shoes like this every day. Now, if you're saying, wait a minute, I don't like clowns, they're scary, they freak me out, I don't like them, I hate clowns, it's okay. I'm not trying to persuade you. I think your emotions are valid. In fact, I've met some scary clowns myself. However, my question is, how did this happen? How is it from when I was a kid, clowns were in your bedroom, clowns were on your bookshelf. It was a clown who directed the train to say, I think I can, I think I can. And now they're scary. Let's explore together what happened. But first, here's a little history lesson. About 10 miles down the road in Heidelberg, Pennsylvania, in 1956, Ringling Brothers Barnum Bailey Circus folded their tent. That was it. By 1956, the purpose for a tent had been taken away in cities by arenas, and the menagerie by zoos, the midway by TV, radio, cinema. All the functions that once served to make this the event for an agrarian society had been subsumed, taken away. It was done. Then a man and his brother named Irvin Feld, they said, wait a minute. They bought the show at firehouse prices. They moved it indoors and took it coast to coast, splitting it in half. The red show, the blue show. Irvin Feld woke up one day and he said, clowns, they can take a fall, but they can't get up again. So he started clown school, and that's where I enter the picture. It was 1974 when my phone rang and they said, come on down. And well, I've been wearing these shoes ever since. My footstool. 1974. It was an altruistic time. It was a time of kind of hope. There was a lot of freedom in the air. That was the year that I was selected to attend. 50 of us, 52 perhaps, all jokers, if you don't mind the pun. It was a different time. I think the best part about clowning is that it was just based on joy and wonderment. And there were so many myths, so many people out there that fulfilled that myth, that joy. For example, Otto Griebling. Now here's a man who was a contemporary with Emmett Kelly, but the Tramp times two. Here's a man who would deliver a package that looked like it was 100 years old, and he'd walk up to people and ask them in a smile and a wink if this was theirs, inside containing broken glass. He would go to put his makeup on, they say. He'd pick up his mirror and be putting on his face, and you'd look down and realize there's no mirror. It was just a hoop. What a great thought. He was so used to putting it on, to becoming that character, that he didn't even need to look at himself anymore. The real story that I like about this guy was that he was living in Germany as a kid, and his mom sent him to the store to buy a loaf of bread. So he's going to the store to buy a loaf of bread, and along the way he sees the circus is in town. Well, he had to join. He joined right there on the spot. In fact, the story goes that he didn't return home for 2 years. But when he did, he had a loaf of bread under his arm. His mother answered the door and he said, the store was closed. How can you not fall in love with a myth like that? There were so many stories like that. That's just one of them. Our teachers at clown school didn't include Otto. He had passed 2 years previous. But we did have a man named Lou Jacobs. In 1966, there was a 5-cent stamp with his face on it. That's what clowns were like when I was a kid. They were admired. They were funny. There was Red Skelton. The silent films, Buster Keaton, Charlie Chaplin, those were the people that I longed to look at, to steal from, if I may be so bold. So in clown school, we had these teachers, they taught makeup and costuming and stilt walking and juggling and unicycling and any skill you can think of. And some of them were just amazing people who I still remember. For example, Old Man Guyona. Now, circus families, traditionally, what happens is the youngest one is the high person. They're so light that you throw them around. But as you get older, you get more jobs. And the jobs require strength and heft. So the Guyona family, the oldest brother was the catcher. That was a strength move. The younger brother did a double-double, or as he used to say, double-double. And that was a double twist with a double flip. Well, Old Man Guyona, he was probably younger than I am now. However, he taught us acrobatics. And so I remember there was a table, and you were to run as fast as you could on these mats and dive across the table and then do a flip. And more than one of us, in fact, it could have been me, said, Mr. Guyona, I've never done this before. I'm not sure what to do. And he'd just look at you and say, "You do it! You do it!" And so it reminded me of the lion from The Wizard of Oz, like, "Oh!" And you did it. You just did it. And so when you go to the circus and you see these people doing incredible feats, you say, how do they do it? They just do it. You don't think, you just do it. You do it. That was his mantra, and that got ingrained in my head. Those were the kinds of people who devoted their life to circus. So after a few months of clown school, I was lucky enough to get that piece of paper that said, "Welcome to the show." 2 years on the road, living in a train, coast to coast, age 19, 21 years old, center ring, Madison Square Garden, riding Ronnie the elephant. Yeah, those are the memories I take with me. Those are good memories. Yeah, so what happened to that clown? How did those clowns go from being in your house, in a book, on a postage stamp, to making people scared, run away? When I worked at an amusement park at age 18, I would ride a unicycle up to a long line waiting for the roller coaster, and I'd juggle a little bit or do a little magic trick, and the kids would all smile and come over, and then they'd go somewhere else. And if I was at an amusement park today, I suspect they would run towards me, look at me, and then run away, scared. So I'm thinking, how is it that they're scared of a clown and they run away, but they're scared on a roller coaster and they go back on again and again? Like, where's that fear from? And how is it harnessed? What happened? So, people are afraid of clowns. And I say, why? One by one, people would tell me, well, that movie, It, that was it. And I said, ha-ha, bunk. I debunked it in this manner. You see, there were many movies, many, before and since. Some of them scary. Some of them weren't. For example, long after It came out, Patch Adams came out. Wouldn't you think that would make people pro-clowning? Also, Stephen King, he did It, but he also did Cujo. I don't recall people getting rid of their dogs. He did Christine. People still drive their cars. So I don't think it's it so much as what it represents. The mythology of clowning that I grew up with, the kind-hearted, the buffoon, the one who goes out there and makes the mistakes for us to watch and learn from as we laugh, the Stan Laurels, the Oliver Hardys, the Charlie Chaplins, that character is no longer everywhere. And if that character is represented by clowns, then I think we're in trouble because they parceled him out. They parceled out the clown. Now you can change your hair any color you want. Thank you, clowns. Yes. Now, instead of wearing makeup, you can get inked. Now, instead of laughing naturally, you can go to Laugh Yoga, where they teach you to laugh. Am I the only one who thinks that's sad? So the parts of a clown have been parceled out, and in the process, people say they're afraid. I think the mythology is gone, and I think our times, after 9/11, there was certainly reason to be fearful, but perhaps it's gone too far. Perhaps we're afraid of someone who looks different. Perhaps that's what the clown represents. One by one, I tried to debunk the ideas of a clown in and of itself being scary. I think what he represents scares people, and that's what scares me.